Hello YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Zerks Wheels. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to find center on an oblong piece, or an irregular shaped piece on the mill here. I'm going to have to reposition the camera to zoom you in. I'll show you some pictures of the piece that's on the vise right now. It's a piece of cast iron, continuous string cast, or whatever they call that. I'm not sure how exactly the terminology they use, but anyway, it's not completely round, so putting a center finder on it isn't really an option, and it's also a little too big for putting the the center finder on the mill, or putting a center finder that crosses on the top. So anyway, let me bring you around here. It's not really that big of a deal. We're just trying to find an approximate center so that we can put a center drill on it and chuck this up and turn it around. So let me reposition the camera here so you can see kind of what's going on. Okay, here's our vise. It's one of those Daum railroad vices. Showed this in an earlier video. Well, it's been quite a while back, but anyway, it's good for oblong pieces and what have you. So here we have a 10mm drill bit. Now this machine is, of course, metric and in 5mm increments, so that's 200 thousandths for those of you wondering. And so now we're going to run the drill bit just down a little ways, and let me put on my reading glasses here, so my reading goggles, so you can see what's going on. So now we're going to run the drill bit in and then set 0. Okay, being how we're oblong, we're going to run it past. Until we're barely touching. Oops, don't want to be doing cranking on that. Take that handle off. Okay, now we're scraping on the work. So now we're going to set 0 on the dial. We're going to take the backlash out because we're going to take it back a little ways, and set 0 on the dial. Now the reason I used a 10mm bore drill is, like I said, these are 5mm increments, so now all I have to do is crank it in 5mm increments, so then that way I'll be on center. So let me reposition the camera here. Okay, so now we're going to run the thing across the front and see where we're at. So let's crank it on in. So let's measure it before we crank it in. Let's measure it, and we have exactly 150mm on the nose. So we need to crank it in 155 to get it on center. Or no, sorry, 155. That would be 75 plus 5, so that would be 80. We need to crank it in. Let's see if that's going to kind of get us there. So, oops, I went the wrong way with the backlash. So let's take it out this way. So there's 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that should give us about center, and we're just about there. Doesn't quite look like center. Screwed up on the math here somewhere. Let's see here. So now we got our center drill in here. Now we're going to run this in, or bring it out 5 millimeters. So that's 1 full turn. And now we're on the edge with our center. So now 150 divided by 2 should be 75. Yep, 75. So now we need to crank it in 75. So there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, and 75. So now we're about center there. So now we're going to crank this back to the 0 here and do the same thing again. So, okay. Now we're going to go to 0 to get it centered on the edge. Okay, and 75. So there's 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, and 75. So there we go. Well, here we go. And there we have our center. So now we're just going to flip it over, do the same thing on the other side, just rinse and repeat. And then we'll drill a hole in there and tap it for a dog so that we can run it without having to put a dog on the thing. Hope you enjoyed today's little episode. It's shorty but goody, and I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that have came on board. And if you've guys got any thoughts or comments, by all means, leave them in the comment section below, or start a discussion on this, regarding to this topic. There's always going to be some thoughts out there, and if you have a unique insight, by all means, share it with all of us. That's what we're all about here, is sharing information and getting it out there to folks. So, hope to see you again soon.